So, good morning or good night, depending on where you are in the world, and welcome to another interview of the Shield Dude on a Couch. I'm your host, Hector, and today I have the honor of interviewing Tony Kakko from the legendary power metal band from Finland, Sonata Arctica. And Tony, first of all, how are you, sir?
Thanks very much. I'm doing good. Enjoying the cold Finnish climate here in a warm house, luckily. So we've had like minus 30 degrees the last few days, so in Celsius. So it's been quite a treat for a Finn. Yeah.
Yeah, you're used to it. Here in where I live in Puerto Rico, if it gets like at 68 or 69, people think it's freezing. Like
Obviously, yeah.
like
You
if
get
I was
used to it. Yeah.
yeah, if I was over there, I would be wearing like four jackets.
Yeah. That's what we do sometimes. It's a layer of clothing. We have like thin layers and then one really thick one on top.
Yeah, I know. Also,
Windstopper. Yeah.
so many layers. So, yeah, you have a new album and a new label in Atomic Fire Records. So, this new album, I listened to it and I was looking at all your album covers, and there's a lot of album covers from the band that there has to be like snow or something Arctic in the cover. Like when it comes times for you guys to do a cover, you think like do we need some ice, do something different? What's the process like for album covers for you as a band?
Usually, unless we have a super clear idea about the artwork, like on Stone's Throw Name, for example, which it doesn't have any snow on the cover. So then snow is the way to go. Basically, it
Yeah.
spells Sonata Arctica very much, and then talks the language of Sonata Arctica. So colors like blue, white, and a little bit of sunset colors or sunrise colors here and there, and that's basically what we have in Silence booklet of the 2001. Jesus Christ, it's so long time ago. Anyhow, those were basically those that album cover established, in my opinion, the colors of Sonata Arctica, and those are what we also have here on Clear Blue Beyond. Clear Blue, Clear Cold Beyond. That Clear Blue Beyond was actually the original idea I had as a name for the album, but then I realized that I think it's a pregnancy test name, Clear
Oh
Blue.
yeah.
So yes.
I remember for me the first time I heard your band was in 2000, was in the beginning of 2000s with Reckoning Night. I really remember that album. That was the first album I heard from you guys. And here in Puerto Rico, there's people really love power metal, and but we're really passionate about music. But yeah, you have album covers like in 2007, Unia was different because it was like red. So it's like a
Yeah.
different album cover. So the last few years, you released two albums that works more like an acoustic, folky type of records. Were you like, were you this time thinking like, no, we need some electric guitars, we need some power back for this new release after doing so much acoustic?
Those two acoustic albums, we actually recorded them at the same time, but they were just released with a 1 year apart or half a year apart. But we had been training about doing those recordings for ages. We had played along the years every now and then acoustic interludes in our shows, and even played acoustic summer festivals in Finland, which was fun. And so all that sparked an idea that it would be wonderful to release an acoustic album with new versions of these old Sonata Arctica classics. And when we once, it was some years back, we went on tour acoustically in Europe, and our label saw the show, and then they were convinced that, hey, this might actually work. We didn't realize that you are actually sort of rewriting the old songs and rearranging them so heavily that they actually are like completely new songs, and they work really well. They gave us green light, and we were able to go and record the acoustic albums, and they turned out really well. And I'm very happy we got that thing out of the system. And definitely now, after the tour, it was 10 weeks approximately, which we toured in Europe, playing acoustic songs, we definitely felt like we want to have something more punchy, like electric guitars, and go back to power metal. Absolutely.
Yeah, so this album, it's really, there's a lot of power metal in it. So I'm gonna show the album cover for people who haven't seen it. So the album is called Clear, Call Beyond, and it's coming out in March. So I like this album cover because I was reading a quote from you saying that usually you write things that are very arctic and kind of like sad, but this is your sad happy album. What do you mean by that?
Sad happy album. I said that. Well, it's I think mostly like almost just about any and every Sonata Arctic album can be described the same way. They are like happy, sad albums in a way that the music side oftentimes is very happy, and you might think that it's about sunshine and happiness, this kind of music, because the melodies are happy and whatnot, and then but when you check the lyrical content, it's like almost 100% something moody. If there's a love story, it's most probably a sad love story and so forth. So we don't have too many super happy joy songs, even though they on the surface they feel like it, and this definitely is one on the same vein, happy songs and a lot of power metal uplifting stuff. But when you dig into the lyrical content of the song, there's not so much sunshine. It's like a heavy talk about how things should be and what's wrong, and the usual human relationship stuff, and just wondering about it. There's a little bit of fantasy as well.
No, yeah, well, it comes with the power metal territory. Usually, power metal is a music that is supposed to be empowering and uplifting. And at least when I listen to power metal, that's what it does. It's uplifting. It's even though if it has like sadness in it, there's always like like you're gonna rise above it in some way. So on this album, you've already released two singles. Which are really great, the singles. I think one of the singles is the album opener, First in Line. And I like it because it really harkens back to those first albums, like the sound. Was that something conscious for you guys? Did you wanted to like go back to like the roots of Sonata Arctica?
Absolutely, yeah. We wanted to the whole thing. One big part that made us go back with this power metal thing was the tour that we had, the 25th anniversary kind of, or was it like 20th anniversary tour? Because of the Corona thing, it messed everything up time-wise. But anyhow, we played a lot of those old Sonata Arctica power metal songs on festivals and such, and brought back that thing, and it was fun doing that first of all, and then seeing the reaction of people in the audience, how much energy they got, and how they loved the old Sonata Arctica power style after hearing the more mellow stuff for many years, and they were very happy to have us back doing what we are mostly known of doing. And so we definitely had a feeling that this is what we want to do. We want to have this energy, and we need to definitely release an album that has more of this, and sort of we want to have these people back.
Yeah,
Power metal
especially
people, and so of course, first of all, the songs have to be up to it. A lot of speedy stuff and then power metal stuff, but then the sound is one important part of it as well. So we went back to the original gangster himself, Mr. Mikko Karmila, and Finland Studios, and he mixed the album there. And of course, he being the one who created the sound, who else can do it better than him himself?
Yeah, no, if he worked, we're going back to the roots, and I think like there's these last few years for everyone, they have sucked. We had a few bad years, so I think having like uplifting power metal helps, because not every like with the pandemic, there's a lot of great music that has come up, but there's also an overkill of like albums that are like all about like pandemic and they're so sad. I'm like, yeah, we need some uplifting, we like well, there's like, it's like the pandemic is through, there's still stuff around, but yeah, we're allowed to like move forward. So first in line, yeah, first in line lyrically, what are you trying to convey on that song? I found it very interesting.
First in line, well, it's about basically how we should slow things down a little bit because of the children. Especially, I think the one thing that sparked the thoughts and the idea about the lyrics and for the lyrics was the coming of artificial intelligence for everything. You know, you can see the videos and artwork and even music and mimicking Freddie Mercury singing something, whatever. All that kind of stuff. It needs to be slowed down like drastically. It's going up, you know, forward way too fast and used in the wrong way. We should establish rules and not teach our children to use artificial intelligence to do all the work, creative work, and whatever human brain can do. We shouldn't allow the children to learn to use the AI the wrong way. I think it should be limited for mostly for science, so we can better make this world a better place. There are enough problems to be solved, and all that energy of AI should be pushed towards that instead of taking the joy out of art. This is how I feel. You know, if I think there's going to be a rebellion against AI in some point. You know, no AI was used in creation of blah, blah, this and that album or artwork or whatnot. But it's going to be increasingly difficult if we allow this whole thing go forward. And us being the generation when this thing comes around, we are the first in line to suffer also, or our children are the ones who will really super much suffer. They don't know about anything else. And so they grow up to be AI natives in a way. And it's super worrying. And this is basically the idea behind the lyrics in the song.
Yeah, it's very deep, and I agree with you with AI. Like it's a very hot topic. Like they put music, and oh, it sounds like this artist, but it's not. You know, it takes away to me the soul of an artist.
Exactly.
Because,
yeah.
like it's not the same. A human didn't do it. Like I prefer to listen to a song even if there's an error, but you know what? It's a human error. Like
exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Right.
yeah. So I
It's just
agree
like
with that.
same as using auto tune and such things that make things super way too perfect. It
Yeah.
just doesn't. It does something you don't understand why this something is not relaxing and fun to listen to, but it's because it's been artificially made perfect and it sounds fake, and we somehow subconsciously understand that.
Yeah, I know about AI. Well, I'm saying this, and my logo was AI generated. So,
Right,
but
exactly. Yeah,
it
this
looks
is
just like
it's
me.
it does.
But yeah, no,
That's
with
wonderful. Yeah,
AI, what I think because of the dangers, I think what we should do is like every kid who's in kindergarten should be shown Terminator movie.
yeah,
Like this is
absolutely.
what happens when AI
Yeah,
takes over. We've
yeah,
been born since the 80s. So yeah, I agree with you. If it's used in the right way, like for science, but like not to be used like as a crutch for everything.
yeah,
Because
exactly. Yeah, correct.
like let's say if something happens in the world, like a big, huge war or something, and electricity and everything goes out, we're going to have to rely on human survival skills to
Exactly.
to make it through. And if AI does everything, what
Yeah,
are we? Yeah, we're gonna become so dependent. So yeah, it's an
yeah. You
interesting
can't
topic.
Google something anymore. Huh?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know. And I think First in Line is a great way to start the album because it's very energetic and it's got those classic keyboards. So when you're writing music, when you're writing the music, when do you put the keyboards in the music? After everything else is done, you add keyboards, or how's that process for you?
I'm a keyboard player myself, so that's
Yeah,
usually
no, that's
where
why.
I start. Yeah, so that's most likely the first thing. I know how to play guitar enough to compose, but keyboards are the way to go. And of course, you know there are like synth sounds that sound like guitar, so you can get in the right mood. So I create a drum beat, some kind of thing when I start writing, and then doodle around with chords and everything, and eventually, sometimes very soon, sometimes it takes longer time, but eventually I will come up with something, some kind of trend idea that I can build around, and then I just start streaming the thoughts from somewhere I don't know where, And suddenly I realized that I have a frame of a song there, or sometimes even a complete song, just like that, easily. Sometimes it takes more work, but usually the power metal songs are super easy to create. Then you just come up with something happy-go-lucky kind of thing. It usually works. And if
Yeah,
it's
it's
too
part of
happy,
your
then you just
DNA
turn a
mostly.
major to minor. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you're writing, like, do you sometimes tell the guys like, I want to do like a super long keyboard solo, like on a track, and
Yeah, but
they'll be like, okay.
yeah, well, I don't play the keyboards that much on the album. I like there are some
Yeah, no, they're
like
complementary to some of the songs.
orchestral things, yeah, and then like basic things. But I allow and let Henrik do them because he's like the super keyboard player. I'm just a like normal whatever. I can write and play a little bit, but he's like super great at it. So I let him worry about the solos and everything. But I do leave them sometimes too little and sometimes too much room to solo around. But usually the problem is that I just try to sing through the whole song and there's no point. First of all, I need to write more lyrics, which is sometimes pain in the ass. And also, in live situation, it's healthy to have a little break. And a long solo is a nice thing. And I actually go away from the stage for half a minute, 2 minutes sometimes when it's a really long solo. But it's good part of the song live way as well, having a solo there. So I hope I would use it more, and hopefully in the future when we continue on this power metal crusade that we've started now, I'm gonna add more solos there and allow the guys, just
That,
stretch their muscles a little bit.
yeah, that would be cool. So on this album, you have an epic song called Dark Empath, which is a sequel to your classic Don't Say a Word from 2004. How was like doing a sequel to that song? How did that come about?
Well, the whole thing actually started already on our second album, Silence, with the song "The End of This Chapter," which introduced the whole this Caleb saga, this stalker story. And "Don't Say a Word" was like a sequel for that. And then along the years, there have been many Caleb, Juliet, "Till Death Do Us Apart," and some other songs that are in the same bubble, so the same thought, the same idea, talking about the same characters. And now Dark Empath is just bringing new elements to the same story. It's not a chronological story that goes from beginning to an end, but something that might always add something into it. And it's been loved by people, so it's a lot of fun to go back there. I love writing those kind of lyrics, the creepy things. The creepier, the better, in a way. And also musically, it allows me to play around with things that are more I don't know, theatrical in a way.
Yeah.
They serve a purpose in this kind of song really well, and so yeah, they are a lot of fun to play, and it's been there's also like fan fiction and everything built around the Caleb saga, Caleb and Juliet. So it's a lot of fun, and I'm sure this will not be the last time I am doodling around with Caleb and Juliet.
Yeah,
They will
plus
return.
usually right now in Hollywood or like stalkers apparently are in. If you've seen Netflix, they're romanticizing a stalker. Like,
Yeah,
and then
it's
young
not
girls go like,
healthy.
"Oh, I love the character." And like, have you
Yeah.
seen the show? He's a crazy man who
Yes.
kills you. Like,
Yeah.
it makes
It's
no sense.
yeah. Yeah, but these songs they also give you sometimes maybe a little bit food for thought in a way
Yeah.
that you can reflect the song into your own relationship. That if you notice that Jesus Christ, this is exactly there are elements in this song that are like from my life right now, and that is the moment when you should maybe think a little bit. Is this healthy? And
Yeah.
in some cases, seek help and so forth. So it's not only for the sake of art, but it's only maybe hopefully sometimes helping people.
No, I agree. So since we're talking about like songs about stalking, do you have a favorite song about stalking that is not yours?
Stalking. I don't know. Not really. I don't know. If you give me a list, then I can probably pick one. But from the top of my head, none.
Yeah,
I can't
I
think
have
of.
I have
Yeah.
one, and it's "Every Breath You Take" by The Police.
Oh, geez. Ah, well, that's good, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's up
And the
there. Yeah.
funny thing about that song is that people sometimes call to the radio stations or something, and they're like, "I want to dedicate this song." I'm like, I'm like, people don't read the lyrics. It's a very
Yeah.
creepy song. The only thing is that Sting has a beautiful voice, and it sounds like it's nice, but you know, go into the lyrics, people. It's a deep stalker song, so that would be my favorite about that. But yeah,
Wow. Yeah.
the album really flows well. It's almost all of the songs seems to be with something having to do with winter or cold. But then you have a song called California. And I'm like California. I'm like California is not known for well, it gets colder than Puerto Rico, especially in San Francisco.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a cool like change of pace. Like what do you want to convey with California?
California, I came up in some point with this thought of California slides into the sea or falls into the sea. Started playing around with that kind of idea and melody, and I thought I want to have this in the song because it's gonna, get the attention of people as well, and it seems like a cool line to have there. And the song eventually came to be California, and I'm using California falls into the sea phrase in the same meaning as when the cows are flying, because California will never physically be able to sort of slide into the ocean like in the science fiction because of the continental plates are going in a wrong direction for that to happen. I read somewhere. So hopefully no one will correct me with this. That's the case because that would be quite awful. Anyhow, the song is about human relationship where you are facing a person who's interested in you and wants to be with you, but for all the wrong reasons. He or she wants to use you to get close to some other person or get something from you, whatever it is, and you notice this, and then you just let that person know that we will never be, that I'll be yours when California falls into the sea. That's the idea behind there. So there's no sunshine per se there on that song, like in a California way.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, people from California will be like, "Why are you wanting us to fall into the sea, man?"
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, it's a cool song. But to me, in albums, the you to for an album to be like great, you need a strong opener and a fantastic closing song. And on this one, you have Clear Cold Beyond, which is an epic closing song. How important it is for you to like when you're doing the song placement on a record?
Uh, it's super important. There are many things that we need to pay attention to. One is that you want to make the album sort of a roller coaster ride, like have tempo changes, and so it's not just fast, 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 fast. Now on this album we have a fast and then even faster, and then slowing down a little bit and starting from there. And one thing, of course, is the key of the song. You don't want to have all the songs starting and ending from the same key, or if one song ends into E flat, then the next one can't start necessarily from the E flat, but rather from something that somehow complements the key and it makes the album flow nicely. That's like a general rule, but rules are made to be broken. But anyhow, that's one thing, and it is super important. And with Clear Cold Beyond, the song being the last song on the album, I somehow want to clean the air and leave people feeling peaceful and maybe ready for another spin of the album. Start from the get-go again with the speedy track. So I think it works really well. The ending is beautiful. And then with this album, going back to the old roots, and we used to always have this something funny happening after the album is actually done. There's some kind of funny, like a messed up take or whatever after a tiny break, and we had this on this album as well.
Yeah, that was
And
something that
everything's
bands did.
splendor.
That's something that bands did a lot in the 90s. That there was for kids now
Yeah,
who know about CDs, there was like the hidden track at the end. Like you had to keep on listening to get the hidden track. So yeah, that was
yeah.
uh, something different. So uh, before I let you go, I know that you guys played here in Puerto Rico in 2014. Uh, uh,
10 years ago.
will you come back to sunny Puerto Rico and bring some of the cold weather here again?
I hope. I so hope so. You know, I would love to come back there. It's a beautiful trip. We loved it there, and it would be wonderful. And I do hope that it's possible one day. You know,
Yeah,
trust me. You know, yeah.
yeah, I know
Just let's make it happen.
you guys played in the Bellas Artes Center, because usually when power metal bands go, since you have so much orchestration, they give you the nice venue.
Ah, nice. All right. Cool.
The nice venue for the music. So so yeah, the new album, people, is coming out on March, and let me get the March the 8th. It's gonna be through Atomic
Yes.
Fire
Right.
Records. I'm gonna post all the links so you can pre-order the vinyl, get everything, and that helps bands, because in a few months you're gonna be touring. You're gonna be touring the
Yeah.
Europe, right?
Yeah, we start from Finland around the same time when the album is out, and then summer festivals are so close at that point when the tour ends that we're gonna have a tiny break and then do practice and have a summer festival season in Europe, and then the European tour starts in September, I think, at the moment, and then the rest of the year is other activities, and we will probably have you more touring info during the summer or around the release of the album sometime, you know, eventually. But that's not all, folks. There will be more.
Yeah, it's nicer in the summer.
Yeah.
At least in Europe. Here it's just more hot. So Tony, I want to thank you for taking some time of your busy day to chat with me about the new album and future plans of the band. So people, get that new Sonata Arctica album. So until next time, people, this is Hector, the Shield Dude on a Couch, and I'll see you all right here on the couch. Thank you and goodbye.
Cheers. Bye.
Bye.